Have you ever walked into, say, a big stadium, or maybe a really busy shop, or even like a fancy corporate lobby, and just been stopped in your tracks by a huge video display, you know the ones I mean, right? Where it looks like dozens of screens, all perfectly lined up, working together like one massive, seamless picture. You see a single video, maybe an ad or some complex data, just flowing across all of them. It feels like one giant screen. It's pretty powerful visually, isn't it? Well, today on the Deep Dive, we're going to peek behind the curtain, look at the tech that makes those displays happen. Specifically, we're diving into the WolfPack 4K 1x9 HDMI Video Wall Controller, the 3x3 video wall model in particular. Our mission today, figure out how this gadget lets you, and I quote, create seamless Ultra HD video walls. We'll explore its features, what it can really do, and, the impact it has out there in the real world. This is your way to get up to speed on, well, the cutting edge of dynamic screen tech. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. The basic idea, when we talk about these huge multi-screen things, what exactly is a video well controller? Why would you actually need one?
I mean, to someone like me, maybe it seems like just a fancy splitter, but I bet it's more complex than just plugging in 9 HDMI cables, right? What's the core problem it's solving?
Yeah, you've really hit on the main challenge right away. It's definitely way more sophisticated than a simple splitter, and that's where the value comes in. What's really interesting, I think, is how it helps you get around the problems of having one single massive screen. Just imagine trying to buy, ship, and then install one screen that's maybe, 20, 30 feet wide, maybe even bigger. The cost alone would be huge, not to mention the logistics, getting it there, setting it up. And what if that one giant screen fails? Poof, your whole message is gone.
Like a single point of failure.
Yeah.
It's a big risk.
Exactly. But a controller like this WolfPack, it lets you use multiple, standard displays. Often more affordable ones, easier to get hold of. Think your regular 55-inch, 65-inch commercial screens. And it orchestrates them, makes them act like one unified canvas. So this modular approach, it's not just about saving money or making installation easier, it's about incredible flexibility. You can design displays that grab attention but also fit the specific space perfectly, whether that's for, say, branding or showing critical data or maybe even like an art installation. It really gives creators the power to make a big visual impact without the massive headaches of a single huge panel.
That makes a lot of sense. That modularity, that's a huge plus for installing, fixing things, even just budgeting. So the core idea is, like you said, one input, and this WolfPack splits it to 9 outputs. But when you're splitting a really high-def picture like that 9 ways, well, quality has to be a major concern, right? How does this controller manage those sharp 4K sources we all expect now without making the picture look, degraded?
Quality is absolutely top of mind, yeah. And this device is specifically engineered to keep that visual quality high across the whole wall. The WolfPack 4K 1x9 supports a maximum input resolution of 3840 by 2160 at 30 Hz.
Okay, so that's proper 4K coming in.
Right, true 4K. You're feeling it really detailed, sharp content. And then for each of those 9 outputs, those synchronized HDMI outputs, it supports up to 1920 by 1080 at 60 Hz.
Full HD for each screen.
Exactly. Full HD at a nice, smooth 60 frames per second. And that combination is really the key. You start with a pristine 4K source, and then each individual screen gets a full, sharp HD signal. So even when you stretch that 4K image across a big 3x3 setup or whatever configuration you choose, every part of it stays crystal clear and smooth. You're not really losing quality when you scale up. You're keeping that professional look, that reliability across the whole thing.
Got it. So it's taking that super sharp 4K picture and slicing it smartly into 9, still very sharp, full HD pieces. That's pretty impressive. Now, this is where I think it gets really interesting for designers and, creative uses. We're not just stuck with a flat 3x3 grid, are we? How much freedom do you actually get in how you arrange the screens? Because I've definitely seen some, well, pretty wild setups out there.
That's a great question because, yeah, that's where the controller's versatility really comes into play. The real power for customization is in what they call splicing modes. This isn't just a fixed 3x3 box. It offers quite a range of configurations. You've got the standard 3x3, but also 2x3, 2x4, 2x2.
Oh, wow, okay.
1x4, 4x1, and 1x3. So quite a few options there. Imagine like you're setting up a display in a narrow shop window. Maybe a 1x4 vertical setup could show off a full outfit really elegantly, grab people's attention walking by.
Yeah, I can picture that.
Or maybe in a corporate lobby that kind of wraps around a corner, a wide 4x1 setup could create this really immersive, panoramic brand feel, super dynamic. The key insight, I think, isn't just that you can change the layout, but how different layouts totally change the message, the impact, how people see it. This flexibility means you can really tailor the video wall to fit almost any space or, creative idea you have.
That's a really good point. Tailoring the display to the message, not just sticking it in the space. Okay, I'm curious, though. When you have these separate screens making one big picture, what about the edges, the bezels, those little frames around each screen? Do they create noticeable lines that kind of ruin the effect?
That's a critical point, yeah. It really speaks to getting that professional finish. This WolfPack controller has something called splicing edge adjustment, and that's absolutely vital if you want that truly seamless look. Without it, even tiny gaps or the bezels themselves become distracting black lines.
Right, it breaks the illusion.
Exactly. It totally breaks the illusion of one continuous image. This feature, it basically compensates for those physical edges very precisely. It makes sure the content just flows smoothly across the whole wall uninterrupted. It's really the difference between a bunch of TVs stuck together and a proper professional cohesive video wall, the kind that has that magic you mentioned earlier.
Okay, that makes sense. That adjustment is key.
And beyond that, just quickly, the device is compliant with HDMI 1.4 and HDCP 1.4.
What does that mean practically?
Well, it's not just tech jargon. It means it's built to work with most modern video sources and displays, reducing those annoying handshake problems where things just don't connect properly. And it also means protected content, like from Blu-rays or certain presentations will actually display correctly without digital rights errors popping up.
Ah, okay. Compatibility and content protection. Got it.
Yep. And for controlling it, it's pretty straightforward. You use an IR remote or there are push buttons right on the unit itself.
Yeah.
Simple operation.
So the picture looks great, it's customizable, it's seamless. That's all sounding very top tier. But, a really immersive experience isn't always just about what you see. Sound is huge too. Does this controller handle audio as well? Or does it sound like a whole separate system you need to figure out?
You're absolutely right. Sound is critical for the full experience. And yes, this WolfPack controller does handle audio. It has robust audio de-embedding, which basically means it can pull the audio signal right out of the incoming HDMI.
Okay, so it extracts the sound.
Exactly. And it gives you options for output. There's an SPDIF digital audio output and also a standard 3.5mm analog output. So you can easily hook it up to an external sound system, could be a big fancy multi-channel setup for an event, or just, a simple stereo speaker system for a meeting room.
That flexibility is good.
Yeah, and it supports stereo audio up to 192K, which isn't just a number. It means really high fidelity sound quality. It ensures the audio part of your presentation or display is just as clear and impactful as the visuals. No obvious distortion or quality loss. And if you think about the big picture, having that integrated audio management means you're not juggling separate boxes for video and sound.
Like simplifies the setup.
Massively simplifies things, and crucially, it ensures the sound and video are perfectly synced up, which is vital for, digital signage, presentations, anything where the sound has to match the action exactly.
Okay, that integrated audio is a huge plus, especially for professional installs. Less complexity. Now let's shift gears a bit to the practical side, the nuts and bolts. Installation. Power. What does someone planning a system need to know? Sometimes powerful tech needs complex support, but this sounds like it might be pretty efficient.
It is, actually. For what it achieves, it's surprisingly efficient and designed for pretty easy integration. First off, the data side. It has an HDMI bandwidth of 10.2 gigabits per second total. That's a lot of capacity. It means there's plenty of a bandwidth to push that 4K input data out to 9 full HD screens all at once without lag or, visual artifacts or bottlenecks.
So it keeps up with the demand.
It does. Now, for cabling, the suggestion is to keep HDMI cables under 5 meters for that 1080p60 output signal.
Less than 5 meters, okay.
Yeah, it's not like a strict limit, but it's best practice for signal integrity. If you need longer runs, which happens a lot in big installs,
Right.
then you'd look at using higher grade active cables or maybe HDMI extenders. That's pretty standard stuff in professional AV.
Makes sense. And physically, is it a big unit?
Nope, actually it's quite compact.
Yep.
Dimensions are 195 by 106 by 22 millimeter.
It was pretty small.
Yeah, a tiny footprint. So it's easy to tuck away in equipment racks or maybe behind a display or in an AV closet. Doesn't take up much precious space.
And power draw. Heat.
Very efficient there, too. It runs on DC 12 volts and uses a maximum of just 7 watts.
Only 7 watts. Wow.
Yeah, so low energy costs, and it generates minimal heat, which is always good for reliability in the long run. It's also built tough for different environments. Operating temperature range is -5 Celsius up to +70 Celsius, and humidity from 5% to 90%. So whether it's a nice air-conditioned office or maybe a slightly more variable retail space, it's designed to handle it.
That's a wide range.
It is. And just for anyone keeping track, the part number is HDTV TVW109, and the price point is listed at $650.
Okay. So it sounds like a really solid, robust piece of gear, but actually quite efficient and compact for the heavy lifting it's doing behind the scenes. So given all these features we've talked about, the 4K input, the 9 full HD outputs, all those different splicing nodes, the bezel adjustment, the audio, where do people actually use something like this? Where are the killer apps, the real-world scenarios where this kind of dynamic display power really shines?
Well, the applications are incredibly diverse, really, because visuals are just so central everywhere now. The source material specifically mentions digital signage, conference rooms, and security centers as key examples. But honestly, it's suited for, as they say, anywhere you need a dynamic, customizable, multi-screen display.
Right.
So think about digital signage. Maybe in a fancy fashion store, you could use that 1x4 vertical setup we talked about. Show off a new collection, maybe each screen focuses on a detail or a different angle. The whole wall becomes like a living magazine cage.
Yeah, dynamic.
Or in a busy airport, maybe a wide 4x1 display shows flight times next to some really engaging videos about destinations. Grabs way more attention than just a static board. And the ability to change content easily with the remote, that makes it super flexible for running promotions or putting up urgent messages.
Okay, digital signage makes perfect sense. What about conference rooms?
Oh, it completely changes presentations there.
Oh.
Instead of everyone squinting at one projector screen, imagine a 2x2 wall. You could have a complex spreadsheet or financial model on one side and maybe a live video conference feed on the other half.
Multitasking display.
Exactly. It allows you to show multiple things clearly at once. Really boosts collaboration, makes sure everyone in the room can actually see the important details. Much more engaging.
I can definitely see that being useful. And security centers.
Absolutely invaluable there. Think about operators needing to watch dozens of camera feeds. A big 3x3 wall lets them see everything. And crucially, with the flexibility of the controller, if there's an alert or they need a closer look at one specific camera, they can instantly make that feed take over the entire wall for detailed analysis.
Wow, yeah, quick zoom in, effectively.
Right. It massively improves their situational awareness, their reaction times, especially critical in places where every second really counts. And the credibility of the brand WolfPack from HDTV Supply, Inc., that adds confidence, too. You know, they've been around 24 years in AV, highly rated on Google Shopping. They're an HDBaseT.org approved adopter. It signals they're serious about quality and standards.
Right, established player.
Yeah. And the fact that it usually ships the same business day, that's also a big plus when projects are on a tight deadline. It means you can get this powerful tech quickly when you need it.
Okay, what an incredible deep dive this has been into the WolfPack 4K 1x9 HDMI Video Wall Controller. We've really seen how this one box can totally change how visual information gets presented, from how it smartly handles that single 4K input, spreading it out with amazing clarity across 9 full HD screens, to those super versatile splicing modes allowing for all kinds of creative layouts, and even handling the audio de-embedding. It's clearly a very powerful, very intelligent tool. It's not just about making a picture bigger, it's really about crafting these compelling, high-impact visual experiences. Reliable, too, for digital signage, boardrooms, security, all sorts. This controller definitely makes that large-scale display magic feel like a practical thing you can actually achieve.
And that really brings up an interesting question for all of us listening, doesn't it? As visual information just keeps getting more and more central to, well, everything, how we communicate, how we work, how we consume media, how are technologies like this video wall controller going to keep pushing the limits of what's possible with public displays, with professional displays, and maybe more personally for you listening, what new creative ideas or communication possibilities or maybe even problem-solving approaches could these kinds of sophisticated visual tools unlock for you? Something to think about.